Hollywood's dream of adapting a major video game IP into a multimedia franchise was always a long shot from happening, probably because they never cared about the source material. Often the filmmakers take certain paths through storytelling that will end up hindering the original's tale. But of course, they finally found one. After all the weird mistakes and almost the worst timing ever, and through developmental hell, Paramount has claimed Sonic the Hedgehog as the winner.
Gotta go fast! Where am I?
I should start this review with, I did not grow up with Sonic. I never owned a Sega console back when those things were relevant, and ultimately ended up never investing any time with the character outside of Super Smash Bros. I was actually surprised when the third entry came out, Brawl, and Sonic finally joined the roster. I would spend the better half of that summer in '09 battling my friends and little brother, hating this red sneaker wearing electric blue hairball. So when the movie came out, all I knew about Sonic was his abilities. I also never realized how big the fandom was, and after the recent shafting of Sonic 3 at the Game of the Year Awards this last year, I wanted to take on this project with a touch of love and excitement. The film begins with a baby Sonic showing off his speed in his homeworld before alerting the bad guys, Echidnas, of his current location, which forces Sonic to leave his home planet and travel across the universe to Earth, where he will grow up for 10 years in this small town known as Green Hills, before our adventure starts. So it is my understanding that though the human characters within this movie often refer to Sonic as a space alien, he's in fact an interdimensional creature that resembles our world's hedgehogs, except for Sonic is blue, can talk, and moves way too damn fast for everyone, and his iconic shoes. Now, growing up alone on an alien planet, Sonic learns about children's behavior, watching them from the shadows. When everyone is away for the night, Sonic plays by himself, until one night he really feels the pain of being alone, and his energy combusts out of him in his adolescent rage. A gigantic blue blast of energy felt across the land. Sonic learns that everyone in Green Hills is affected by a power outage, and then the US military arrives to bring us our villain. There's no subtle way of announcing this man's arrival, other than to watch Dr. Robotnik just berate a commanding officer in front of his own troops. Clearly, Robotnik is our villain, and he is Sonic's main adversary throughout the games, comics, and various animated shows.
Are you in charge here?
Yes, I am.
Wrong. I'm in charge.
But somehow, they convinced the legendary comedic Canadian actor Jim Carrey to play Robotnik. I mean, I think this is what most of us came here for. When Jim Carrey came back from his long acting hiatus, everyone was wondering if Jim could be the wacky guy from his earlier work, and he kind of brought it into this film. He really gets the power-hungry, physically weak tech nerd vibe with a touch of insanity that you need for a standout villain. So Sonic, seeing the change in town, decides it's time to leave for another world, the Mushroom World. I know this is another reference for the games, but how often Sonic brings up how much he hates mushrooms, and there's no life on this planet, it's a hard sell for him to leave. This is when Tom Wachowski, the local police officer man in town, aka Donut Lord, finds Sonic in his garage and shoots him in the leg with a tranq gun. Sonic drops his bag of rings through a portal to San Francisco before it closes up, and he passes out. While Tom is learning about Sonic being a real living creature, this allows Robotnik to follow his tracks right to Tom's front door. This is a fascinating character conflict. Tom is aware of Sonic's fright about Robotnik looking for him, and he's also aware Robotnik isn't from around here. This is when Tom confronts Robotnik at his front door, and he isn't scared of him or his rude banter about being the greatest mind that ever lived. Sure enough, Tom is one of those few characters who doesn't take anything from Robotnik, often leading to a casual insult, and then Tom finds a way to punch him in the face. You've gotta love it when your hero character isn't going to back down. This altercation leads to Robotnik's drone shooting up Tom's house, forcing our heroes to leave the scene and begin a road trip across country, all the way to San Francisco, so Sonic can get his rings back and leave for the Mushroom World. It's the road trip where we get to spend time with Sonic and his new pal Tom, getting to learn about each other's quirks. There's a heartfelt moment when Sonic learns about bucket lists and decides to write his own since he only has one day left on Earth. This bucket list involves bar fights with locals, trashing a hotel room, and a highway chase caused by Robotnik's never-ending tank machine. Even though Sonic and Tom do get mad with each other, they do continue to push forward on their journey that ends in a grand finale. Now, the comedy is what this movie's really good at. It's finding the needle-thin balance between the ridiculousness of having Sonic characters in the real world while trying to carve out a piece of heartfelt emotion between our heroes. I've already talked about Tom trash-talking Robotnik, or even Jim Carrey's performance as said Robotnik. But there is the voice of Ben Schwartz, best known for his performance in Parks and Rec, where he plays Tom Haverford's annoying rich friend, Jean-Ralphio. Anyways, this is Ben's first time being Sonic, and he brings a certain charm to it that is a mixture of a child's excitement with the world around them and a very annoying quip-heavy loudmouth. Honestly, I feel like I could put this version of Sonic next to Deadpool, and we would all be worse off for it. Who's the weirdest comedic performance in this movie? I'll tell you. His name is Wade Whipple, and he is commonly known as Tom's deputy. But if you had the grace to watch the Knuckles television show, you definitely know who Wade is. Wade really isn't developed as much as a character until later in the franchise, but here in this film, every time the guy shows up on screen, you know something dumb is going to be said. Honestly, I'm not trolling here. Wade actually kinda stole the show for me at the end. And I'm not done. Wade doesn't have a Wikipedia link for his character. I think that's a modern day tragedy.
Let's see here. Let's disperse. Just another ordinary day in Green Hills. Carl, I'll take that chainsaw.
Ugly Sonic, it was a thing. The internet made it a thing. Disney made it a thing. I don't know what to say about this crazy mishap that took $5 million to fix in post. Like, I'm to believe everyone at Paramount's shareholder meeting was like, yeah, give the kids what they want. Whatever that means. So most people get held up with this design because of his human polymorphic shape and his teeth. For me, it's not the teeth, it's the legs. When you look at that back shot, you see his extra curly swoops of hair. That's not Sonic. So they fixed it before it was publicly released, and thank God. Guys, when it comes to this movie, I first of all enjoyed it back in 2020, when I saw it in theaters before the lockdown. And I only bring this up because I was okay that could have been my last movie in the theater. Things got scary. Now, coming back 5 years later after its release and already seeing how significant the impact of the world of Sonic had on mainstream media, I was like, man, I hope the first one holds up. And it did. I think I liked this movie more than when I first saw it. I was laughing, I was intrigued, I got curious about Sonic's universe. A fun thing that's happened on that end is all the references I missed because I don't know the character, but the cute crazy Carl moments are adorable. I love that he thinks Sonic is a cryptid and he has drawn him to be the famous Sonic meme.
Plus, he likes it in there, don't you, buddy?
Why would I like it in here? This is worse than the dog cage you had me in earlier.
Now, is it a good video game adaptation? Not really. See, when I look at Sonic games, and even some of the cartoons, I notice a lack of human characters, which means the development team for this film had to go out of their way to fabricate this story, further leading us to it's not accurate to the games. But strangely, something they did keep intact was the lore. There's apparently a bunch of Sonic lore all involving different characters, some from the past, some from the future, some from other worlds. Because Sonic is technically interdimensional, all his lore can fit nicely next to our human Earth story. I have to give this film a 4 out of 5 stars. This seems to be my base rating for most films I've reviewed, but I can't really make up exceptions for this movie. It's so good it actually makes you want to join in on the fun, meaning even if this was a one and done with Paramount, they would have still had a nice product to show off. But it was a success, so much so, when I look at the third film's actors' credits, you might think that was an Avengers movie. The only thing left to talk about is the real spoilers. But I mean, you had 5 years already to see this thing, and oh my god, they even spoiled it in the original commercials with Ugly Sonic. Dr. Robotnik is sent to the Mushroom World, but this doesn't happen until the end. I'm actually very annoyed about this marketing strategy because why would you think it's okay to spoil your ending? Or worse, you have a group of audience waiting for this scene to arrive, but they have to sit and wait. Okay? Counter argument. The only people willing to sit and wait for this scene to be revealed would be Sonic fans. Fine, fair. But bonkers strategy. There is another mid-credits scene. Tails, Sonic's yellow multi-tailed friend, who has manifested on Earth and is currently tracking the whereabouts of Sonic. Admittedly, the 1 star taken from this film isn't about the basics of the plot, or how the studio tried desperately to appeal to my emotions, about being humanitarian towards animals. That is a plot. Sonic has friends, and the only really adapted video game characters are Sonic and Dr. Robotnik. Damn, that sucks. Why did this studio only have faith in one animated character? You might think because of Ugly Sonic, but I don't think so. I think it has to do with some of old school thinking. If we use almost practically nothing from the original, that might be enough to appease the audience. And I guess it did work. I don't know. How do you feel about this weak first take of only 2 OG characters being shown off? Does it work or not? Did you want more? And don't get me started about the obvious Supersonic reveal at the end, only just for him to glow blue. The filmmakers have explained, and I understand, it would make sense for it to be in a different movie. So that's it. That's Sonic the Hedgehog. Wow. So that's it. That's Sonic the Hedgehog live action movie review. I hope you enjoyed it, and hit that like and subscribe thing that everyone asks you to do. Thanks for watching. Bye.